Karen Whitmore had just pulled off the perfect suburban crime in broad daylight. She built 96 luxury houses on land she knew was stolen. The peaceful Colorado neighborhood looked like the American dream at first glance. Families unpacked minivans while kids rode scooters on fresh pavement. But Karen ruled the HOA like a petty dictator in designer heels. She was obese, Botoxed, and overdressed in flashy suits that screamed power. Her fake smile hid the heart of a woman who loved tiny tyrants. Dakota Flint drove up after 3 long years away from his land. He inherited 47 pristine acres from his grandfather in 1971. His stomach dropped when he saw paved roads and beige McMansions everywhere. The old pine forest had vanished under Karen's greedy development scheme. A security guard blocked him at the gate with a smug little grin. Then Karen rolled up in her white Range Rover like she owned the universe. She scanned Dakota's work boots and old truck with pure disgust. "You must be here for construction work, sweetie," she said with fake charm. Dakota held up his phone showing the original deed and tax receipts. Karen laughed like he had told the funniest joke in town. "Our title company confirmed it was abandoned," she snapped with manicured nails. "Adverse possession makes it ours now. So stop wasting my time." She had already pocketed $16 million from pre-sales to trusting families. Dakota felt his blood boil but kept his mouth shut that day. He drove home with shaking hands and Grandpa's old note burning in his mind. "Don't let the bastards take what's yours." The note had warned him. Karen kept escalating like the power-hungry HOA queen she truly was. She photographed his truck and threatened to call the sheriff personally. "People like you don't win against people like us," she hissed close enough to smell her perfume. Dakota hired a sharp lawyer named Lydia who smelled blood in the water. She advised him to let Karen finish every last house and pool. That way the fraud would be complete and impossible to hide. Months passed while Karen strutted around like a peacock in heels. She fined residents for the wrong shade of beige on their doors. She loved the tiny power trips that made her feel like royalty. Meanwhile, Dakota quietly documented every nail gun and concrete truck. Karen spotted him one afternoon and called in a sheriff like a damsel. "This man is harassing our families," she whined to the deputy on camera. The deputy looked uncomfortable because Karen donated big to his boss. Dakota stayed calm and pointed out he stood on a public road. Karen's smear campaign went nuclear right before Thanksgiving. She posted on the community page calling Dakota a predator stalking kids. The comments exploded with neighbors ready to burn him at the stake. Dakota's boss put him on leave because optics mattered more than truth. Someone spray-painted pervert on his garage door in the dead of night. Karen's husband Preston was in on the family fraud from day one. They had known about the paid taxes but built anyway for the cash. Lydia uncovered the smoking gun email that proved their calculated theft. They planned to bankrupt the company if caught and let insurance pay. Karen sent more fake complaints to code enforcement trying to bury Dakota. She even triggered an IRS audit on his simple W-2 returns. Desperate people always overplay their hand in these HOA wars. The court date finally arrived and the gallery packed with nervous buyers. Karen sat there in her cream suit looking smug until the judge entered. Lydia dropped the email bomb that proved Karen knew everything. The judge's face hardened like concrete setting in the sun. Motion to dismiss denied and a restraining order slapped Karen hard. No more Facebook lies or anonymous tips or she would face contempt. Karen's face turned ashen as her empire began to crack wide open. The title company flipped and admitted taking bribes under the table. Depositions turned into public executions where Karen's lies unraveled fast. A local news crew aired the story and the whole state watched in shock. Karen tried one last desperate break-in at Dakota's house for intimidation. But a neighbor got the license plate and the evidence piled higher. Trial day came and the courtroom felt like a pressure cooker ready to blow. Lydia tore Karen apart with receipts dating back 50 years. The judge ruled in full and gave Dakota everything including the houses. Karen and Preston faced federal fraud charges and lost it all. Their luxury cars and vacation homes went to auction for the victims. Dakota stood in the unfinished clubhouse facing 96 scared families. He could have evicted them and pocketed another $16 million. Instead, he created a community trust and gave every home back free. The same price they paid with zero interest and zero developer profit. Tears and applause filled the room as Karen's victims became homeowners. Dakota kept 5 acres of old pines and built a simple cabin there. He wakes up every morning to deer grazing under Colorado skies. The scholarship fund in Grandpa's name sends kids to college now. Karen sits on probation with a lifetime ban from real estate games. She still tries to boss the new HOA, but nobody listens anymore. The beige paint peels a little faster on her old power trips. Dakota never gloated because justice tasted sweeter than revenge. He proved one man with receipts could topple a Karen empire. The neighborhood sleeps peacefully now without her iron fist in velvet gloves. Land is not just dirt or money, but the legacy you refuse to surrender. Good people still win when they refuse to let the bastards win. So what HOA horror story do you carry in your own backyard? Drop it below and remember to keep every single receipt forever.